We're about to head to one of the most beautiful places on the planet, and we're bringing you with us. I'm Taryn, this is Logan, and this is Max. Join us as we live and sail in the Pacific Northwest on our 40-foot steel sailboat. Well, tomorrow we begin our last kind of adventure, I guess, for the summer before we head back to Nanaimo and start getting ready for our haul out and our boat projects. So today we get to go into town, into Pender Harbor, and try to reprovision. It is absolutely pouring outside. It's going to be very wet, so we're going in full rain gear, including our nice gumboots, and heading out into the wet in hopes that we can stay warm enough and get our grocery shopping done and whatever else we need to do.
Come back and have a fire.
Just some good West Coast weather. And as Logan said, fire tonight.
This is the kind of day where if you have a wood stove, like we do, you feel super excited about coming back and having a fire, because not only is it going to be warm, but it's going to be warm and dry.
Yay! But before we could go anywhere, we had to pump a bunch of water out of the dinghy. Ready to go?
Yep. Are you ready?
Ready as I'll be. Okay. So we were only in town for about an hour. Look at all the rain in the bottom of the dinghy already. Okay, here you come. Poor Matt. Max doesn't want to stand in the water. Task completed.
Yep.
Round one.
Round one.
Well, today is the exciting day where we start heading towards Princess Louisa. So we're just going to make brunch and then we're going to head out. But before we do that, we get to watch something pretty fun. There's apparently a race happening right beside us. So all the boats are ready to go. Can you see them? They've all got their mains up, even though there is absolutely not even a breath of wind out here. But I guess they're hoping there's some out there, and we are too. So it's gonna be cool to watch when it starts.
We are motoring out of Pender Harbor. We're heading to Blind Bay. We're gonna anchor in Blind Bay, which is about 2 hours or so from here, north, and then we are gonna wait for the tides and for May and Marty. We're gonna start heading up Jervis Inlet towards Princess Louisa.
In case you don't know, Princess Louisa has a big epic waterfall called Chatterbox Falls, and it's kind of like this rite of passage, it seems like, for cruisers in the area to head up to Princess Louisa and to Chatterbox Falls, so I'm pretty excited. I feel like we're going through a rite of passage as cruisers in the Pacific Northwest to go see this waterfall and check out this park, so it's pretty cool. And it looks like we are going to be motoring for a couple of hours, but I guess that's better than motoring into the wind, so yeah. Once we were out in Malaspina Strait, we found just enough wind to slowly sail for a while. So I'm probably gonna jinx myself saying this, but
Don't jinx us.
it's too late, I'm already too deep into it. We have the sails set, and we've actually had like a pretty consistent wind, so I haven't even really touched the wheel in the last 5 minutes, and we've just stayed on the same course. And in case you guys don't know, we don't have an autopilot, so it's all hand steering. But we do have an autopilot, it just doesn't work at all. So it's really nice when the boat is well enough balanced that you can actually kind of sit back and enjoy what you're doing and where you're at, instead of constantly doing those little like micro tweaks to make sure that you're staying on the right course. So we're staying pretty strong on a beam reach, going a little bit broad and then coming back to a beam. And we just gained a couple of knots of wind, so we're going a little bit wider than we want to, but anyway, it's good. It's so nice to actually have consistent wind instead of super gusty all over the place from different directions, dying wind. So yeah, I'm excited. And full sails up. We're only doing 3.2 knots, but that's about what we want to be doing. A little bit slower would even be nice because we've got the salmon rod out. Got sunshine. We're just really happy to be out here on the water today. The wind held steady for our entire journey, and we were able to gently sail until the point where we turned to head into our anchorage. After motoring around to check out the anchorages in the area, we decided to stern tie. This was our second time ever stern tying, and we did so in between two other boats. It wasn't smooth going due to our prop walk, and honestly, I was kind of mortified to have so many people around us watching it take place. But we eventually got it and stayed safely positioned for the night without running into anyone. But yeah, reversing and therefore stern tying is not the easiest task on Paparumba, although it was worth it in the end. Well, it's 7:30. The sun is just about to break over the mountain over there, and we are getting ready to head up Princess Louisa finally. So exciting. So we have about a 9-hour motor from here up there, and then into the inlet, and then we'll hopefully grab a mooring buoy and hang out there for a few days and enjoy the waterfalls and hike. On the way out, we had a big humpback whale right in the mouth of the exit. Oh wow, it's right in front of us. You see him? Holy crap. Yeah, it looks like it. How's his fin? Look at Marty. Feverishly turning. Yeah, we saw him. Wow, how cool. Man, that's a big whale. Yeah. Whoa. Bubble nutting on his own, hey? Crazy. How cool. So we're almost in Jervis Inlet. We're heading up Jervis Inlet with the current against us, but luckily because we're back in the Salish Sea, the current doesn't really get above like 2.5 knots. So we're going to be fighting probably between, I don't know, 1 knot and 2 knots of current against us, but it's like, it just slows us down a little bit. But like I mentioned before, this is like a 9-hour journey, so just to get to the rapids, and we have to catch them at slack, so we didn't really have a choice. We had to leave with the current against us. We're still doing 5 knots and making good headway. It was super cool seeing the whale this morning. That was awesome. Never seen them that close, and we haven't seen them do what that whale was doing, so that was a unique experience.
What was that whale doing?
It was, we think it was like bubble netting. It was just, usually when you see humpbacks bubble netting, which is like they kind of surround fish with bubbles and they force them to the surface, there's usually a few whales doing it, but there was just one whale, and it was also like on its side, it had like its fin up in the air, and it was like shallow diving, like its tail was at an angle, I don't know, it was doing a bunch of weird stuff, and like all in the same area, which is pretty close to the boat, so that was really cool to watch. So this is just pretty much a 9-hour motor. So there's not a ton that's happening other than we're seeing incredible, beautiful landscapes. But I always feel like I need to talk about it or like show more of it to kind of give an accurate depiction of what the journey's like. So I don't know, how do you capture on camera what it's like to motor for 9 hours through beautiful, majestic landscapes like this? We don't have an autopilot, so somebody is constantly at the helm. I'm trying to download podcasts so I can listen to them, as well as, you know, music and whatever else. But mostly we just kind of listen to the motor the whole way and enjoy our surroundings. We just made our second cup of tea and coffee. And yeah, haven't seen any whales since the first thing this morning, but I keep hoping that there's going to be more whales. There's one person coming out of Jervis Inlet right now. And we've reached the Agamom channel where it kind of comes into Jervis Inlet. So if we were to head that way, down there, that would lead us to Seashalt. But we're not going to do that. We're going to keep going up Jervis Inlet instead. But yeah, pretty nice out today. For ages we had heard many stories about how beautiful this place was, but honestly I didn't think it was going to live up to the hype. We had seen so many gorgeous places during our summer adventures, and I had a hard time believing that something so close to home could top the northern adventures. But Jervis Inlet brought her A game, and we didn't have any problem just drinking in the amazing scenery and tall mountains as we motored up the inlet. There was also a heli logging operation taking place, which, although depressing to watch a forest being destroyed, was really interesting to watch as we motored by. Heli logging is used to log trees on steep terrain and in remote areas. It theoretically causes less damage to the area being logged, both because it involves less infrastructure to being built, and because loggers can be more particular about the trees they cut down. Nice. And around the same point we actually had a little chance to sail. On schedule for being over an hour early for the rapids, which we cannot go through there that early. So we've thrown the sail up again and we are just very slowly sailing towards Malibu Rapids, which gets us into Princess Louisa Inlet and up to Chatterbox Falls. Marty and May are doing the same. We're having a non-race race. But it is absolutely gorgeous out here. Cooling down a little bit, which is also nice. So we're scheduled to be there at like 6:30 and we can't go through until like 7:40. At 6:30 if we can sail at this speed. So I'm trying to very slowly sail there. Of course the wind completely died before we could even reach the rapids and we were back to motoring again. Alright, so we're like 2 hours early for the rapids, despite trying to sail. So we're gonna launch the drone and see if we can get a look at the rapids and get some shots of this amazing place. Can't get over it, it's so gorgeous. The mountains are huge. It's just, and it's so glacial. Like, the geography nerd in me is going crazy because there's all these geological formations from glaciers receding. Like a big bowl there, there's actually still some glaciers. The water's like a silty green color that's, I think, from the glacial till. Not positive on that one, but either that or a lot of algae again.
I wish we had been able to come at the start of the season, like early spring or whatever, because there would have been a lot more snow, but we probably wouldn't have been able to see any of the mountains then. It's actually really cool to see. It's quite different than I pictured it.
We floated around outside the rapids and launched the drone. This was some of the most stunning landscapes I have ever seen, and we couldn't get over how blessed we were to have a calm, clear day like this to travel and capture this beauty. Because we had so much extra time on our hands, we decided to raft up with Marty and May and have dinner before heading through the rapids. Our food's all ready whenever you guys are ready.
Okay. Just about. Yeah. You don't want a beer, do you, Logan?
One beer.
I need something to calm my nerves. Landing that drone was scary.
Yeah, Logan had like grabbed it by hand because for some reason, I don't know if the boat was shifting or if the drone wouldn't hold, but it was like they were going opposite directions.
We were drifting at almost a knot.
Yeah.
Like 3/4 of a knot, and then like I couldn't get the drone to land in time, so I had to fly it out beside us and let us drift into it, and I just grabbed it.
Yeah,
and like you have to like when you grab it, the sensors fly it away from you, so you have to grab it fast and flip it upside down
with the blades spinning and close to
yeah.
That must have been exciting.
Yeah, it was
That's the
exciting.
word for it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'll bring the beer, May will bring the food.
Sounds good. We're still an hour and a half early for the rapids. So we're going to have dinner floating in the middle of this beautifulness in Jervis Inlet. Pretty cool way to have a meal. We shared roasted chicken and veggies prepared by me and a tasty appies brought over by Marty and May. We waited for the rapids to calm down and then untied and made our way through them.
Well, we just made it through Malibu Rapids, and we timed it, and we planned to go later, but we scoped it out with binoculars, and it looked good, and we went, and it was no problem. Not sure what I was stressing about.
But how much later, or how much earlier did we go than we originally planned?
Like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Sort of. Yeah, 15-20 minutes early. It's totally fine. And we came in on a flood, so we had lots of water, and it was probably a lot less turbulent than on an ebb tide. But yeah, that was exciting. That was super cool.
And now Marty and May have made it through as well. They went in a little bit after us. They've got a bigger keel than us, right?
Full keel.
Yeah, so they've got a full keel. We've got like a modified fin, and it's like shallower than theirs is, so they've got more boat underwater.
Yeah.
Essentially, is what it comes down to. Quite a bit more, so they have the potential to be like pulled around by the current more than we do. But they also made it through safe and sound, so awesome. So now we just have to get to a mooring or to the dock at the end of Princess Louisa, hang out for the night, and explore tomorrow. Well, I'm happy to say that we've made it to Princess Louisa Park, which is the first of 2 parks in Princess Louisa Inlet, and we are moored up to one of the park moorings. So there's 4 park moorings in here and 2 dinghy docks, it looks like. And then around the corner is Chatterbox Falls, which is the really famous spot. There's moorings in there, but there's like 5 sailboats in there, so we decided we'd grab one of these instead of heading in there and finding out that maybe there wasn't any moorings available. Tomorrow we'll head all the way in and go check out Chatterbox Falls and explore the parks. We can hear waterfalls. There's nobody but us here in this one spot. This is pretty awesome. Join us next week when we really get to the good stuff exploring Princess Louisa. And thanks so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. We love sharing these adventures with you.